Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to episode 2.
Yes, of season 3. We hope you liked episode 1. We don't know yet because it's not out.
Okay, what's our topic for today?
Today we are talking about consent.
Ooh.
Which, there's a lot to unpack with consent, I feel like.
Hello, it's me from the future editing this video. I just wanted to give a little trigger warning because we talk about consent in this episode. We talk about situations where consent was not given. If that is triggering for you or might be, please skip this episode and take care of yourself, Pookies. I love you. Bye.
Especially in today's day and age, because a lot of people I just realized you took off your eyelashes. I was staring at, I was like, something's different.
Yeah, one of them was coming off and was a little bit
one of them was flying away, and I was kind of enjoying looking at it.
Otherwise, I would have just left it willy-nilly and you guys would have just enjoyed a flappy fucking eyelash the entire time.
These guys love our flaps. What are you talking about? Anyway, we're talking about consent. We're talking about consent, not flaps. I mean, there are a lot of flaps to do with consent. Sorry, I don't... What's wrong with me today? I'm also losing my voice, so if I do that...
Are you ill? Or is this just from you...
I think I'm just
being run down?
A little bit burnt out. Yeah.
Okay.
There's just a lot happening. I slept last night for 4 hours. I'm good.
I was actually recently watching a study about this, and did you know that women need between 9 to 11 hours sleep?
Yes.
All of the studies that have been done on how many hours sleep you need has been on men. And because women need to factor in menstruation.
Well, I'm on my period.
Yeah.
So I've been extra. I think that's why this week has been extra hard, because it's just taken so much more effort to go to the gym, to get up early, to work, to go upstairs, to everything has just been way harder this week. And because I don't have my period a lot, I skip my period, I'm on the pill. So when I have it, she's back with a vengeance.
Yeah.
And
Satan crawling out.
Literally. Yeah. Satan's been crawling out of me all fucking week.
This is what scares me about eventually having my
Having
period.
yours, yeah.
I knew what it was like, skipping it once or twice, and then finally fine, I'll just have a quick period.
Well, I skipped it 4 months,
3 years, and I'm what's gonna come out?
A whole demon child just emerges, and there's another Maddie. Well, the third person on the podcast will just be this bloody little thing.
There's just all this dead tissue rolled up into
dead
a tiny
tissue.
human.
It'll hate men. It would have been brewing in you for the past.
Back to consent.
So I think this is good to talk about because it should be now. I think it's something that really should be taught in schools. I feel like it always should be. Well, no, I know personally, I did not get taught about consent. We talked about...
No means no, though. Did you not talk about that?
Not really. Well, there was always with bullying, there was always the stop it, I don't like it. There's very much keep your hands to yourself. That's always what you teach little kids. It's don't touch
That's a primary school thing, though.
Exactly. But that's the extent of what we were taught. Because I went to a religious school, though.
Do you think... I was literally about to bring this up.
Yeah.
Do you think that because you went to a religious school, they were of the minds that, well, they're not having sex, so why would you have to teach them about consent? And no means no, because sex is a sin.
Yeah, it was ignorance.
So they're not allowed to be having sex anyway.
That was their attitude, because we were taught abstinence. There was literally a quiz. I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but I did a quiz in school.
Oh, you have mentioned
it was on,
yeah.
What's the best form of contraception? And we all put a legitimate answer of what was the largest percentage of effectiveness, and the answer was abstinence. And we were taught abstinence and wait till marriage, and then the way that they would talk about everything would be one day when you're married with your partner, this is how sex will work, kind of thing. That's how sex ed was presented to us. But there's nothing on consent.
That's crazy.
For me, I don't know if things have changed now, but I do know that schools don't enjoy bringing that kind of stuff into their curriculum because they feel that it encourages children to participate, but kids are already horny. They're already going to
I feel it's a little bit different from a public school perspective, right? Because I was learnt no means no in high school. Mm-hmm. I was learnt what rape was. Like
Yeah.
we were taught that in sex ed in school. Like we were taught the same, like rolling a condom onto a banana. Like we were taught when to say no. The gray area for consent for people though is when they enter a relationship, right? Nobody teaches you that consent is still a fucking thing even when you're in a relationship. And I hate to like pin this on men. It's just like I've only ever seen men do it. Men like to think that when they're in a relationship with somebody, they therefore own that body. So that's their boobs, that's their vagina, that's it. And they also then think that they have the right to touch and grab that whenever they want to. So like if you're out in public and it's just a random, I mean, butt taps don't really count unless you're into the unless you're not into the butt tap stuff.
Yeah,
like,
but then that's a small conversation to have with your partner. That's
like,
fine.
I've seen and have experienced plenty of dudes, like we're walking through malls and like, whoop, just straight up my vagina, as if that's funny, or just grab my boob in front of people, like because they can, because it's their body and because they're making other people jealous and because they can. And I have had to put my foot down, like, why are you touching me like this in public? Like, that's gross. But I've seen it so often, and even working in hospitality where we're in a venue where a lot of it is date night. Yeah. Where the men just think that this, because it's my woman, I can do whatever I want. And you see a lot of the sexual assault cases get brought forward and then dropped. A lot of them are
because they're in a relationship
and they've brought the case forward to someone they're in a relationship with. Yeah. And it's still fucking rape if she said no and you're married. And it's still rape.
That's another thing, is like at any point in a sexual situation, you can say no. That's another thing that we need to teach people, is because yes, you're in a relationship and your boyfriend could understand that yes, you can say no to having sex with them or to them touching you in a certain way, but also teaching boys that, and girls, at any point in having sex with someone, they can turn around and say, you know, can we stop? And you have to stop. It's not, oh, come on, babe. Like, I'm like, no, it would just be quick kind of thing. Like, you just have to stop.
I think that a level of self-awareness needs to be brought, or like, dudes are not fucking self-aware when they have a fucking boner. I'm sorry, they're not. All they think about is their current boner. A lot of the times, women don't say no out of fear, out of being uncomfortable, out of not wanting to disappoint them.
Yeah, just suck it up.
So they don't say no, but they don't necessarily lean into the intimacy either, so they just let it happen. And a man should be able to fucking tell.
They can.
I know they can.
Yeah.
But this is also the side of where consent falls as well. Like, okay, she didn't say no, but her body's not saying yes. Like, if she's just rigid and fucking scared and, like, is just letting it happen.
And also, when you're dry as a fucking desert down there, she's not into it. Like, I'm sorry. It's just, and we're so brainwashed.
Hang on, can I just point out that you spitting on it doesn't make us wet. It makes your thing wet to make it easier to go in, but we're still fucking hurting.
Yeah.
The whole point of us being wet is because we're turned on. Like, we're turned on, that's why we're wet. That's why it's easy for you to insert.
I get
just
sometimes
on it.
Yeah, sometimes you want to have sex and you're like, and we need a little something. That's fine, but if you're already like, no, not right now.
As a fucking desert.
Yeah.
Like, not into it, not even, like, it was just spraying on you, like, hey, we should do this. And you were, like, in another fucking world, like, thinking about cookies or something.
Actually, this is real because I saw this meme and it was about ADHD women having sex. And it was like, it sucks having sex as a woman with ADHD because he'll be going down on you. And it's like, why can't I stop thinking about the last episode of blah, blah, blah? Why can't I stop thinking
Sometimes it takes 10 minutes and I don't even mean to. It's just like literally things are on my mind.
Yeah. And so you're just not into it. And I think that like we do need to make the space to make it okay to be like, well, sometimes you just don't fucking want to. And because you're in a relationship, it's like, yes, you want to do things for your partner, but there's like no comfortable space created. Like, you've got to learn it. It's like not until now, like I started having sex when I was like 16 years old, say. It's taken until being 22 to actually feel comfortable enough to say to a guy, no, I don't want to do this. I would just do it.
Yeah.
And like I had my biggest qualm with consent, and I was so brainwashed because I thought I was being with a boyfriend meant that they could kind of do whatever they wanted, and I didn't want to make him upset or whatever. He would start having sex with me while I was asleep, and that was the biggest problem for me.
That's rape.
Yeah. Well, I felt
That's rape.
The problem was I felt so uncomfortable, and I felt my body hated it. I hated it. I'd feel like ill, and I didn't like it. And
Did you tell anyone?
Well, no, not until after, because like years after the relationship, because I didn't think that, I was like, I don't like this, but I guess it's just because like I'm not expecting it, and like, but I didn't know that was rape.
Yeah, like if you're not conscious to give a fucking yes or no, it's immediately a fucking no.
I didn't know that.
Like that's
so I just literally thought
leprosy,
I had to deal with it, and then that's why I was like, why don't I didn't enjoy sex for like a while, and I was like, I don't know why I can't just get into it. And then I felt bad. I felt like I need to get into this so that it's like better for me and my boyfriend, blah, blah, blah. That's how I felt. That was my attitude. I was like, I'm being an inconvenience. And it wasn't until like later in my life that I realized, oh shit, like no wonder I wasn't comfortable, because I didn't know when I couldn't sleep at night because I didn't know when.
And also your body was probably repulsed by him. So like there was no way that internally you were going to get into that.
Yeah, and by that point in our relationship I was just so done with his shit, but I felt like I had to be with him because his life was so hard and I had to like whatever. That whole thing was fucked.
And that's
character building.
That's like
now I can smell bullshit from like a mile away pretty much. I still get caught out, but it's just like, yeah, I would never, but I just it scares me when I see people, like I have a little sister and I see younger women and I'm like, you can in theory be like, I would never let a guy do that to me, but once you're in it and you're in a relationship with someone and you feel like you need them and you need that attention, you need to be with that person and you want to like make them happy, and then you sacrifice like your whole relationship with sex, with your own body.
It's not like that at the start though. That's
no,
obviously, otherwise you wouldn't have fallen into that
relationship. Because men know it's wrong, and then it's not until like they know you're invested and you have feelings that they will try shit like touching you in public and fucking you in your sleep, that you're like, oh, okay, I guess like I love him, so it's fine. And it's not fine.
It's not.
And that's why I think in schools and just in your homes, like if you're a parent, you need to make sure your kids know it's okay to say no at any time. You have like jurisdiction over your body. Your body is yours. It doesn't belong to anyone else.
Yeah.
And you make sure you have consent from other people, and you make sure that you're giving consent. And
but also read the room.
Yeah, right? Just read the vibe.
It's like consent isn't just words, like consent is also the vibe.
Yeah, body language,
like
tone of voice,
like even the fucking place that you're at, right? There's a time and place for everything. Like, don't try and fuck her at a nightclub.
Yeah, or if her parents are in the next room, and it's
exactly like
you know,
it's just like that. Parents in the next one. That's a funny one, right? Because I've actually experienced that level of uncomfort myself, where I haven't said no because I didn't want to say no and disappoint. But I also was on the fence. I was like, is it a good idea? We probably shouldn't, kind of thing. So it wasn't a flat out no. It was just like I didn't really want to, because I had family in the next fucking room.
Yeah.
And I still did anyway.
Well, yeah, I've had heaps of situations similar to that growing up, like in high school, and it's like when you're in the same house.
But that's what I was pressured.
Yeah, because you feel pressured.
Because had he read the room and listened to me umming and ahhing, they're literally in the room next door, I feel weird. Like, had he listened to that, just be like, okay, yeah, like that's weird. Like, okay, let's not make you feel uncomfortable. But
they don't care. No. Yeah, because they want to get off.
And then he goes home, and then like the whole family at dinner is like looking at me like this, as in like, of course they fucking heard something.
Yeah. Well, they know you're in the room together.
I have a boy over with my door closed.
Yeah.
They know. I have never come across much sexual assault cases.
A lot of the time, setting boundaries in the bedroom, like you don't know something's a boundary until you know. Like,
Here's
there's things that in theory you're like, oh, I want to try that, and then you're like, no, never again.
Here's the thing too. A lot of the times when women set boundaries, because it is usually women who have to set the boundaries, because men are kind of down to do anything, unless it's their butthole being touched. You come to a crossroads because you say, "Ooh, I don't like this." It now becomes a boundary. You ruin the mood, risk that person, just like, don't worry about it. When it's like, let's just not do it anymore. Or you don't say anything. You continue being uncomfortable for the rest of the session that's happening, and then afterwards say like, oh, I wasn't okay with that, like, let's not do that again.
Yeah.
But then the men still lose their ego because they've just found out that you didn't enjoy that entire session.
Yeah.
And so like setting boundaries for women is hard because it immediately affects a man's ego.
Yeah.
And then he is like, well, just don't worry about it then. We just won't have sex.
Yeah.
Then. Like, we just won't fuck then. And it's like, because I won't do certain things, you just don't want to at all.
Well, that's another thing that we need to, that's just respect too. Because men need to have empathy for women. Like,
men don't have respect for women because they don't think that women have respect for women.
Yeah.
They think that because we dress like this and because I have the fake boobs and because I get paid for certain things, I don't have respect for myself. Bro, I have more respect for myself than you do.
Yeah. It's like, I could not imagine someone telling me that I've done something to them and me turning around and putting it on them and going, fine, we won't hang out anymore then. We won't do this anymore.
Yeah, because
it's
you're not like that.
No, but
you've
men
had it
are.
happen.
But it's like,
exactly.
Yeah, so men are, and that must be...
It's an ego thing.
It's the way that they're raised. It's something put in their brain that you deserve to feel ABC. When you're in a relationship, you can do ABC to her, and they're offended if something they've done hasn't pleased you when it's pleased them, and like their ego's hurt, and then they put it on you instead of apologizing. Like,
yeah,
that's a fundamental problem in our society, and the fact that it's so common is really fucked up.
Yeah.
What are we doing wrong? What are we teaching to boys to make them think that they're fucking God's gift, and that someone inflicting pain and discomfort on someone isn't their problem? Like, it's your problem, and you're disappointing me.
This is so
now.
funny too, because they do. They inflict pain, mental, physical, all types of pain, and they're like, you should go to therapy. Cunt!
Like,
you're the reason I need therapy? Yeah. Are you kidding?
Maybe, like, don't be a shit person.
That's what fucks me up, right? People can really, really fuck you up mentally. Like, to the point where you need to be medicated for the rest of your life. You have severe trauma issues. You can even develop like really bad like schizophrenia, bipolar, all of that from toxic relationships. They can be developed from relationships, right? That person can go on living their best fucking toxic life with other people and go continue doing that to other people. And I have the exact same wounds, if not more lasting than if he stabbed me. But he'd go to jail if he stabbed me. People aren't fucking touching anybody. Like, DV is still a thing, yes, 100%.
Well, they are, because we're talking about consent right now.
Yeah.
And the emotional damage, and this is what I'm hearing right now, is that the way we teach consent is the way we should teach people not to fucking hit each other. Because the damage that you do mentally and emotionally abusing someone by telling them, I get to do whatever I want with you because you practically belong to me, and the damage that causes, and the gaslighting and the making you feel like you've got to get it over with, that doesn't as much damage if like
as a physical wound,
as him punching you in the face.
That's
and then
what I mean.
Like, deal with that,
like a black
and
eye,
carry that through all your relationships. Yeah,
right? A black eye heals. Trust issues don't.
No,
sorry. Anyone who cheats, you're committing DV. Anyone who like literally expects their woman to get down on their hands and knees for any sexual acts at any time just because you want it, that's DV. Women are not your slaves, your sexual fucking slaves. They're not your home slaves or anything. So fucked, because not that I have kids or anything, so this isn't a personal dilemma of mine, but like women these days, they're expected to come home from work all day, then look after their kids for the rest of their night, and then go into bed and then please their husband.
Yeah.
The only time I've ever literally felt unsafe in a public space.
What?
just obsessing over yourself. I saw it. I saw it.
You know what? Someone said to me, I think it was my sister actually. She was like, I like your podcast because you look at the camera and it feels like we're in the conversation. Yeah. So I've been consciously trying to like, and we were talking about consent. I don't know what happened. And now we're bubble wrap. Our show, we can do what we want.
That's a fail.
Anyway, consent's really important, guys. It is.
On a lighter note. My knee. I gotta take my knee out because it looks like a penis. It's been sitting there this whole time.
I don't think your knee looks like a penis at all.
No, but
I think you're lying
maybe
to me.
Maybe a hot dog. You know those?
Yeah, hot dog legs.
Is it a leg or a hot dog, Fredo?
Yeah, and it's always Taylor Swift. We talked about consent like a little bit. Let us know your thoughts, because like I think it should be taught in schools. And I thought
it was already taught in schools.
Well, that's another thing. Like, let us know if you were, because I'm hearing that there are schools saying no to people coming in, external people coming in to teach consent to kids. I have someone who told me that, who I would love to get on here. There's an opinion piece, whatever.
That's cool.
We'll talk about this in a bit. But I have heard that in Gympie, a school was sent a guy who will come and teach consent to their kids, and the school said no. And I think that that's a problem. And I wasn't taught consent. I was taught barely consent as a child. Stop it, I don't like it. Don't touch other kids, keep your hands to yourself kind of thing.
Keep your hands to yourself has been taught since primary school.
Yeah, exactly. But that's the extent of it. And if that's still happening, that's a problem. And something's wrong because men still don't get it. And
I do think also it's super important that a man is the one to be going around the schools and talking about consent.
100%.
People don't take women seriously. And on top of that, it's usually women.
Well, they should.
It's usually women who are the ones to be giving consent. If it's coming from an adult male.
Yeah.
Authority figure, maybe the boys would pay a little bit more attention
to
how serious.
Both boys and girls need to be taught, and I said,
absolutely,
it's not just consent in the bedroom, it's also consent in life, how much you're asking of people, how much you expect of your partner, what you want them to do, even going to events they don't want to go to, asking them to do things that you know they feel deeply uncomfortable about, hanging out with people they feel deeply uncomfortable being around. Like,
that just seems like mutual respect.
Yes, well, that's the thing. There's a gap. Pardon me, that was disgusting. There is a gap.
At least you didn't do it in the mic like I
know.
did.
I might have a little bit. I'll see when I edit this. But there is a gap in respect. In relationships in particular, people taking advantage of the fact that someone is in love with them and then making them do things that they don't want to do. And I think that is something that needs to be fucking fixed in this society.
I think it's just that boys still think, or like they just never moved out of that stage of sex equals love.
Yeah. Because
you know that, like at a young age, boys and I'm not even going to say men because it's boys. Boys will use sex as a way to show their love.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, they will also use that as an excuse for why they're doing something. Like they will have sex with someone. It's because I love you. Or they'll pressure their partners into having sex, or like have sex while they're asleep. It's because I love you and I didn't want to wake you up. Like they use this as an excuse. They use love,
but it's just
as
gaslighting.
an excuse to have sex or to push sex because love equals sex to them. Like it's the same thing. Like if you're in love, you should be willingly wanting to have sex at any time because that's what love is to them. Like why aren't you having the sex whenever they want to? Because they love you and they want to have sex all the time. So why aren't you like that too?
Yeah,
I think that's all it is. Men play heavily on the physical and the lust part of a relationship, and I just feel like they never fully grow out of that. So like sex in the physical way they show up in a relationship is how they show up,
but it's also not love.
No, it's not. For women,
you don't love someone if they're literally like, I don't want to do this right now, and you're fucking forcing them to do it. That's not love, my man. That is just you being horny and taking ownership of your partner's body without their consent, or pushing them into giving you verbal consent even though they don't want to,
I feel like as soon as no has been said once,
or implied,
said or implied, whatever. As soon as it's been said once, it's completely fucking disrespectful and pushing and nagging and on the verge of domestic violence if you then again bring it up. Because she's already said no. She's already made it clear that it's a no, right? Yeah. So for you to bring it up again, it's you literally trying to push her down so she changes her mind.
Yeah, it's dismissive.
She's already said no. So why are you bringing it up again? In case she changes her mind. Why? Because you want her to change her mind.
She'll bring it up.
So that's what I mean.
If she changes her mind.
No should be no right from the very start. And if you bring it up again after that, like, okay, if you bring it up again because she's being a little bit sexual.
Different.
Like,
that's different.
Like, if her vibe changes and she's coming onto you, like, obviously, if the vibe hasn't fucking changed and you bring it up again,
you're just pressuring. You're pressuring. Yeah. You're a cockhead. So we need to call out the cockheads and call out rape when it happens. Like,
also any type of sexual assault. Like, the amount of people that think they can just grab you as you're walking past, like even at work.
Yeah, it's fucked.
People have the audacity because you wear what you wear or because you're in the environment that you're in.
Nightclubs.
Other people the right to touch you.
Yeah.
We gotta stop drinking Coke.
We need to stop drinking the Cokes. We went out for lunch as well before this. Line dancing and
lunch,
breakfast, Cokes. and Cokes. Yeah. All right, we should probably wrap this up.
I'm getting teary.
Delulu. Need a cigarette.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. All right. Well, that's all for episode 2 of season 3. Let us know if you want to hear anything and your thoughts on this topic.
This was an interesting topic and one that actually we could talk about again.
We have more like juice for this car, if you know what I'm saying.
But we might leave it for when we have guests on.
Yes,
because
I have ideas for this.
Literally every single person in this history of humans has an experience with consent
and an opinion, and opinions are like assholes, and you guys love to see ours.
And saying that, if you do actually want to come on here and have your own opinion on consent,
do you know what I thought you were gonna say? If you do actually want to see my asshole, subscribe to Maddie's OnlyFans. Alright,
that too.
Goodbye.
Bye, bitches.
I miss you.
Bye.
Oh, literally. See the boots in. And it's like
the actual
it's like